Hi! Okay, I'm really glad that you requested something because I don't know, I've never done this before, so I'm really excited. I'm just going to be using a basic wavy wig. It works better with straight wigs as a base, obviously. I use a styrofoam head. Professional wig stylists and wiggies use a blockhead, but I don't. I haven't really found a need to get a blockhead, which is basically wood with fabric around the edge. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take regular pins that you use just for sewing, and you want to pin along the perimeter. Now, if you want this to really be like a tight snatchback, like it's your hair tight, you want to get it as close to the hairline as possible, like to the edge. And you also want to kind of do them close together. So that's basically it. You just want to pin the perimeter. Oh, this needs to be closer. Whenever you pull back on the hair, you want to make sure that the lace is laying down on the styrofoam, because if it's poking up on the styrofoam, that means it's going to poke up when you put it on your head. So that's basically that. It's poking up a teeny tiny bit, but I'm not too worried about that. But yeah. So I'm going to brush the hair, make sure it's all nice and smooth. If you are gathering all of the hair up like that and putting it in a snatch, then you will need to pin down the back as well. When you pin down the back, make sure these straps right here, I'm not sure if you can see that, make sure these straps are unhooked. You want to pull down the back as far as you can, because whenever you go to put it in your, like up in the ponytail is going to pull the back, the nape up, and then your real hair will be showing. Put down, I put about 3 in on each corner. So I pin it down in the neck like so. And there, 1. And then I do 1 in one direction, so I'm going this way with the pin. And then I do this one the other way, going this way with the pin. Now you think, oh, this is completely ridiculous and completely unnecessary. That is going to help stabilize so it can fit your head whenever you go to put it in the updo. Because I promise you, as soon as you pull it into an updo, this is going to go up, and that's not going to fit your head, sweetheart. So make sure you just pin it down.
All you're gonna do is begin to gather the hair in a ponytail like so.
Okay. So if you're super anal about it, you'll want to take, that was a one of those brushes that you get from the dollar store with all those balls on the end. I don't know what they're called. And then this I also got from the dollar store at Dollar Tree, and it's like bristles instead of like those plastic things, and I use it as a smoothing brush. You see how clean it gets everything? I don't usually worry about the bottom as much as the top, because the bottom is going to be kind of concealed by whatever it is that you are attaching, whatever kind of ponytail that you're attaching.
This got to be glued, got to be ultra glued hair gel. This I got at, I think, Publix or Walmart. You will probably find it at both in the hair gel styling. This stuff is amazing. If you're doing a dance number, I suggest you use this. If you just want it, if you want this wig to permanently be that way, I suggest using this. Keep in mind it's very, very, very difficult to wash out. So get this if you're planning on not really changing the style, because it slicks it down nice and good. So, and of course, we'll be topping it off with some hairspray. I always use Tresemme, but of course.
So you don't need a lot of this at all. It is like, this gel is like glue. A little bit in your hand. And when I say a little bit, I literally put like drips on my fingertips. I'm not sure if you can see that. Like that. I'm gonna get more than that, but that's just to begin with. And then go over the top layer and brush it back. And you wanna, basically what you're getting is all those flyaways. So that is the basic slick back on how you get your hair slicked back. Now, if you want to make it look a little bit more realistic, I do cut baby hairs into my wig. So you basically just pull right over here on the edge. This is where I cut them out at, on the sides of the temples like this. This is going to make your hair look more realistic. And I'm only going to pull out this side so you can see it compared to the other side later when I put on the wig. Hairspray on it. It's just going to lock that into place. Also, if there's any more flyaways after the gel, this should catch those flyaways to make it nice and smooth and give it a nice, clean, Courtney look. Don't unpin it until you've added your ponytail. And I use really big pins. And basically, all you're going to do is just pin it into a little bun. Alright, that was easy. So that's the bun. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're just going to be surrounding it anyway. Then if you have a little bit of out like that, it's hair. Try to just stuff that inside like that. You see? And then try to cover that up with the drawstring. And this other side's cut. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to try on the wig. As you see, I have absolutely no hair whatsoever. I know that you have a little bit of hair. I'm not sure. I think you still have a little bit of hair. You can do those little ponytail anchors. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that. Basically, you just take a little swatch of hair. You get those tiny rubber bands that are about like this big, like really tiny black rubber bands. And you just tie your hair in little ponytails, and then you can pin the wig into those little ponytails, and they're called anchors. But what I like to do is a snatch. Now, this is what we call it in Florida. I don't know if they have a different name for it in New York, but basically I take an old set of pantyhose, fishnets. Get fishnets or something with holes in it, because if you get pantyhose, it's going to be very difficult to pin anything into a pantyhose because it doesn't already have holes. So basically, you're going to put it around your head like this, and this is what I do for any kind of heavy wig or any kind of snatchback that I don't have hair to pin into. And I basically put it on my head, and I take the legs and I wrap them around. Now, you want to be very careful with this, because I'm telling you, if you pull this you're going to have a headache regardless if you do this process called the snatch. But if you do it too tight, your head will want to explode. It's going to feel worse than a migraine. So you want to be gentle with this. It doesn't have to be ridiculously tight in order to keep. I know whenever you first do it, you're going to be like, this needs to be ridiculously tight. But just the way it grips to your head, the wig just, my wigs just stick to it. So even when I don't do it tight, they just stick to it. Now, as you see, there's a little bump there from where where I tied it around. That is going to affect your style. So if you don't want that, you're probably better off with the anchors if you can. If not, grow out your hair a little bit so you can do the anchors. But I find this to be easier for me since I don't have any hair. Also, it's less painful. Those anchors, you're going to feel the pull on your real hair, and with this, you don't feel the pull on the real hair. But with this, you get the headache because it's like squeezing your head. Anyway, I always put my wigs on this. Like this. I never really flip them around like some people put them on upside down and dive right in. I don't ever do that. So you're gonna pull that down in the front. Hold on, sorry, I got something in my nail. Got my nails done today, you like? Anyway, so I pull down in the front, then pull it down in the back to cover up the black. If you need to push up the black a little bit, do so. Just so it's like that and it's covering everything. So I'll pull it down. Oh, see, there it goes. Like that. Then you want to push it back, just a little tad bit to where you have forehead. Don't forget to give yourself some more forehead, please. I put one under the hair, and then under the lace, and then the other side remains above the lace, and I pin that in to the fishnet, which is right here. So that's what you want to do for the fishnet. And then you can just pull down and flatten it, and then what I like to do is push this behind my ear, and that gives it more of a realistic look. I'm all about the realism. Now this is the side, remember I told you one side I would not take any flyaways out. I don't know why that flyaway is there. Just ignore that one. But I wouldn't take any flyaways out. You can just tuck that under if you want. And then one side with the flyaways. Now I kind of need to see the mirror here. Still showing a little bit. Oh God, I'm such a perfectionist about that. Like, I don't want to see pins by your temples. So, anyway, so that's with the flyaways side. And for me, it makes it look a little bit more realistic. If you don't want to have any flyaways, I leave the flyaways out anyway. And what I do is I basically hold it down here, take the rest of the flyaway, tuck it behind the ear like I did on the other side, and then just poke that down like that. And that gives you more of a sideburn, because these wigs just don't seem to come with sideburns. So that gives you more of a sideburn. And then that is your slick back, and now it's applied. Now, like I said, if you're doing a dance number, you want to be pinning, put pins here. Make sure you're pinning inside the fishnet. You want to pin in there. You want to put pins in here to make sure it's not going anywhere. You want to put pins in the very back. Now, this is why I say I don't worry about the back. Number one, it's being covered up by the ponytail. And number two, if you slick that back, it's going to be riding up. Like this one's riding up a little bit. And you want it to be really pulled down, which is why we pinned it down in the back on the styrofoam head. I promise you, if you do not pin it down on the styrofoam head, you're going to put it up in a ponytail and the back of your wig is going to be like up here. You want to pull it down as far as you can, so that way it can, not only can it fit over your snatch, but it lays down the entire time. Fucked up my nail polish with those damn pins. Anyway, so that's how I do my basic snatchback. How I do my, I shouldn't say that's how you do a basic snatchback. That's how I do my snatchbacks. And I find that it works for me. Oh God, I love this color. Oh, let me show you what it looks like without the snatch. Now, if you were to do it without the snatch, because all the weight is on the back here, because that's where the ponytail is, you're going to find it to be a little bit more difficult to stay on your head, especially if you're like me and you don't have hair. If you have hair, you can do the anchors, but it's going to make it, if you don't use the snatch, it's going to basically make it a lot more flatter, and it'll look a lot more like it's slicked like straight to your head. And as you see, without the bump there, it's a little bit more like slicked back. But I don't know, I prefer the snatch. I know it gives it a little bit of a bump, but if I was to go into a dance number and be flipping this around, it doesn't do it now, but I feel like if I was like in the moment and not conscious of what I was doing, it would, like, the hair would flip off, and that's not cute. Don't let your hair flip off, girl. Now, if you're doing this for TDR, just for pictures, by all means do not do the snatch, because then you'll have more of a slick back type of look. But if you plan on doing this for a live performance, I suggest using Snatch Girl, because it will come off. But thank you so much for requesting this video, because I feel like so accomplished. I feel really honored, and I feel like, cool, people are asking me for help. This is really neat. So thank you. And I hope that this is, oh, sideburn showing a little bit. Hello. I hope that this was what you were looking for. If not, shoot me another message. I try not to be as long-winded as I am, but I just can't help it. I'm a long-winded bitch. So thank you so much. Send me a picture of the hairstyle that you do it with, whether you use it for TDR or not, because I'd really like to see how it comes out. One more thing I forgot to mention. If you want to know anything about wig stacking, wig bumping, combining wigs, flat ironing wigs, wig reviews on what kind of wigs are good to get, anything, curling wigs, just let me know, because honestly, I'm not an expert, but I'm experimenting with all of that stuff right now. So if you want to know anything about that, bumping wigs, stacking wigs, sewing wigs together, splicing wigs, anything like that, let me know, because I'm really into that stuff, especially right now. Thanks.